Hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. Today I've come to Cannock Chase. It's not the first time I've been here. I've been here about 3 or 4 times before. But on this occasion I've decided to start my walk in a slightly different spot, slightly different location on the chase itself. So as a result I don't really know where I'm going or what I'm about to do. So it was just a case really of turning up here at Cannock Chase and just have a quick look round and see if I can find a few photos. I'm sure I will be able to, but there's no real plan or direction of travel at the moment, so it's just a case of just walking and finding some interesting things to photograph. So come along on the journey with me. Weather's not great. There's no rain at the moment, but there has been, and I think there might be a little bit later in the day, but there's very dark clouds overhead, very grey clouds, nothing particularly menacing, but it just looks as though it's going to be a bit of a damp day, to be honest. But also it's a little bit breezy, so I'm going to try and find some sort of shelter within the woodland here on Cannock Chase. But obviously I don't know how anything's going to work out or what I'm going to be photographing, so I'm looking forward to this one and I hope you are too. For now, I'm going to go and try and find my first composition. So this is a little annoying. Behind me you'll notice a gate onto a bit of grassland just over there, and there's obviously a kissing gate as well for pedestrians to walk through. But unfortunately both gates are locked and I can't get past. Now I could try and climb over the gate and be a real rebel. I don't think that's really wise though, to be honest with you, because anything can happen. But I've discovered that I've just walked along this path here through quite a dense area of coniferous woodland, and I think there may well be a potential for a shot there, but I'm going to be heading back that way in a little while anyway. So in the meantime I could head a little further down, away from this gate here, down this path behind me. I don't know how well you can see that. There's a path that just runs down there along the side of that area that's locked at the moment. So I think I'm going to have a look down there and see if there's anything down there, and that will also lead to other areas of Cannock Chase that might be interesting for a few photographic compositions. But until I go down there I won't know, so I'm heading down that way now. I've found a little spot just here, just the other side of this tree here. You've got basically the fence that I'm walking along, and then you've got this tree just the other side of the fence, and as I'm walking past I'm looking at this tree anyway, but I can see lots and lots of layers of colours as the hill drops down in the distance, and there are trees, coniferous trees and various other different trees and all kinds of different colours kind of filling that gap there just in front of me, just the other side of this tree. I'm trying to see if I can work out if I can use this tree as some sort of framework or some sort of anchor point at one side of the image, and then kind of zoom in onto these trees here, and then potentially just capture a shot of kind of this area here, just below the hill, up to the tree and further down towards the fence. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to set up the Canon EOS 40D and try and take that shot now. It may be that I can do it on the 40mm lens that I'm using at the moment, 17 to 40mm that's currently on this camera, but it may be that I have to use the 70 to 300 and potentially somewhere around about 100mm. That might work. So I'm going to set it up and see how I can get on with this one. So I don't fully know which one of those shots works the best. I've taken several just to see if I can work it out, but I don't think having this tree on the left hand side of the image as an anchor point works. So I've taken a couple of images without that tree in it at all and just focused on the layers of colour that I was talking about down here somewhere, and hopefully that's going to look quite nice. So if it does, I'm going to show it to you now, and I hope you like it as well. But for now I've noticed that this little bit of pathway that I've been walking along kind of drops down the hill a little bit, and it's quite steep just ahead of where I'm standing now. So I'm a bit concerned about trying to get down there. I'm going to give it a go anyway, obviously, but we all know what might happen here. I could end up on my arse again. So luckily there is a fence next to me. I'm going to try and use the fence as my guide, and if I need to hold on to it, I think I probably will, because that then make it easier for me to get down the hill, and then hopefully there'll be something at the bottom of that hill that I can photograph. So I encountered another locked gate, and there's a fence all around a certain area of this part of Cannock Chase. So I've stayed to the one side of the fence, and I seem to be right on the very edge of the Cannock Chase at the moment. But I found myself in a very, very dense area of woodland, and I could hear traffic noise not far from where I am. I've also seen, just in a little cutting, a train flying past, so I know there's a railway line as well, somewhere around here. So I think I'm probably going to stay in this sort of area and just try and work out if I can find a few compositions here, and then at least I'll know if there's traffic noise and public transport somewhere nearby, then I'll still be able to find my way out of here. So hopefully that'll be the case, but at the moment I'm just kind of looking around this really dense woodland to see if there are any compositions at all. At the moment I haven't found any, but everywhere I'm turning to see if there are any compositions. I'll keep moving on and see what I can capture. It's official, ladies and gents, I am a damn fool. Do you remember that path I was on earlier where I said I'd just come to a gate and it was locked, and then I was walking down towards that tree on the side of the fence, and then I was going to take a photo of the layers of colour behind that. When I walked back up to that gate, I felt I was getting a bit lost and stuck in the dense woodland over where I was, and thought that if I was to still be lost in that dense woodland when nightfall comes, then I could be knackered. So what I decided to do was come back from there and try and stay a little bit out in the open instead, and at least I'll give myself a chance of finding my way back to where I need to be. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. But like I said, I got back to that gate and it turns out it was open after all. I saw a woman walking up the hill, walking her dog, just 100 yards in front of me. And as I was watching where she went, she opened the gate and went straight through it. So I walked up the hill and realised that the gate wasn't locked, it was just me being an idiot. But I'm glad I found that spot actually, because now I've come through the gate, I'm only about 50 or 60 yards from it. In fact, if I look over there, the gateway is just over here somewhere, and I've walked through here and walked along this path, and now I've found this spot here, which I think is quite nice. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you this. So what you've got here is basically this expanse of field and grassland in front of me, and you'll see that there is obviously quite a lot of heather and bracken along here, which is obviously turned golden brown and is losing its colour as well now that we're into December. But then just ahead of that you'll also see there's 3 trees here on the right hand side of the image, and they look pretty good. But also then behind them you can see a little hill some way back in the distance, and that looks quite interesting. And then you've got all these layers of colours on the hill and in the trees and so on leading towards there. But also then you've got that beautiful sky, some interesting clouds, some dark clouds, very grey, very overcast, but everything's moving quite quickly because of this breeze that we've got. So I think I'm going to stop here and take a shot. Now, I stayed there a little bit longer than I wanted to really, just messing about trying to capture a few different shots. I think now my wireless microphone is probably just about to run out of juice as well. So I'm going to carry on walking along here a little way and see if I can find one more shot. But I've also got my shotgun microphone that I can stick on top of the camera instead of the wireless microphone, so I'll be able to finish off the vlog anyway, even if the microphone runs out of juice. Well, this is an interesting spot. Check out that tree behind me. It's got some very gnarly, nasty looking bark all over it, and I just want to try and capture an image of that fairly close up on that tree, just kind of the first sort of 12 feet of the tree, maybe a little bit higher than that, and capture all of that beautiful bark and that branch as it sticks out and all the rotten ferns that are on the floor just below it. So hopefully this one works out. It might even be a portrait orientation, because I think that might be the best way to shoot this image. So I hope you like this one as well. So that last shot of that tree, portrait orientation, f4, ISO 200, 1/30th of a second, and I believe it's somewhere around about 24mm focal length. So I hope that works, and if it does, you'll have seen the image now anyway. But now I'm going to make my way back towards where I started my walk for two reasons. First of all, it is already now nearly 2:15 in the afternoon, and we're going to start losing the light in about an hour from now. So I want to try and make sure I'm back somewhere near the start of the walk before that happens, so at least I can find my way back to the train station to catch my train away from here. So hopefully I should be alright. But also the other reason is I wanted to go back to that little bit of woodland that I walked through right at the very beginning of the vlog to see if I can capture that one image that I said had potential that I might come back to later. Hopefully I'll be able to get there, and if I do, I'll take that shot as well. But in the meantime, if you've enjoyed today's vlog, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you again in another vlog very soon. Bye for now.